Hello, everyone. This is the Antimatter Games podcast. I'm your host, Chris Chigueras. Joining me this week, Samantha Jennings.
Hi.
And Matthew Blake. He's got a bandana. Hey.
Not a bandana. I think it's time to set the record straight. There's an elastic strap at the back.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
What is that even?
It is a. I can actually demonstrate. So in my work, I have to wear a mask a lot because of COVID.
Yeah.
And the straps can get really raw on the back of the ear after, hours and hours of wearing a mask. So I'll have to remove my headphones to demonstrate. It has these two little buttons here. Fucking go. Don't embarrass me on the internet, mask. And here. And there. And these two little bloop. They hold my mask for me. And then it keeps my ears free. And not making me look like Gollum. So. That's what that is.
I mean, you're much too hairy to look like Gollum.
But it also covers up my receding hairline. So, I'm a fan of it.
It's a win-win.
You just gotta own it. Just gotta own it, Matt.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll end up looking like Bill Bailey sooner or later. For those who don't know who that is, Google it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Stam, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little bit cold, but I'm good.
Sam has ghosts in her room, so her room is cold. Just in case anybody was wondering.
Please
Oops.
let me know if you see anything in the background of any of these streams.
All right, we got a lot of Sony stuff to talk about, a lot of next gen on all kinds of platforms, and we've been playing some games too. So we're going to open up with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. The last time we talked about this, I think I was just talking about it because I played the Warehouse demo really quick. But I got the whole game now. It's out. I have played through all of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. I have not touched any of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 yet, but I mean, it's going to be the same thing. I don't actually know if I'll go back to it, to be honest with you. But it's really good. I was really happy with how natural it felt to jump back into a game that I played in like 2001, 2000, something like that. It must have been around there, like very early high school, grade 9. It felt exactly the same. It just looks much prettier. It has 4K textures and everything. I want to say this is easily the one of the best remasters I've ever played. And I know, Matt, you played it a bunch too. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm very much enjoying it. I'm having a different sort of experience. It was not very easy for me to jump back in. I have learned a lot of bad habits. Well, actually, good habits for everything but this. My first run, for example, was just a disaster, and I was falling like after every single jump. And I realized what I was doing was I was using both sticks. So like I was trying to, in most games where you turn, right stick is look around, but when you turn yourself to look in a direction, you straighten yourself to that direction. Tony Hawk does not do that. So I was trying to use like looking around to spin. I was trying to control it like a modern game.
Oh, got it.
It took me like 1 or 2 runs to be like, you know what, just keep your thumb off the right stick, look forward, use that. I also forgot that you could use the triggers to spin faster.
Yeah.
I was having a lot of trouble landing those. I never played a Tony Hawk with reverts, which seem to now be kind of required. So
reverts were in 3. They came.
Yeah, I never played 3. I really only played 2. So what I'm doing is I'm playing through 1 for basically the first time. Like I played 1 at like friends' houses and stuff, but I owned 2. So like I completed 2 like 100% back in the day.
Yeah.
But I'm starting with 1. So I'm playing a game I didn't actually play, so the levels aren't very familiar. Except for the mall and downhill run, because those were always the ones we'd play together. With mechanics I've never actually had. So I'm having a little more trouble with it. I went online with Fro, and we played like some just casual multiplayer. Little disappointed you can't just play with a friend. We could party up, but it would always put us in a game of 8.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So that was something I'd really like to see. like them add is just like some kind of like free skate with friends instead of the like challenges with 8 other people. I was always last or second last. Like I don't have the Tony Hawk background to just jump back in this. It's been pretty rough.
I haven't tried any of the online stuff. I don't think I will. For me, I jumped right back on that D-pad. It felt super good. It did take me obviously a couple runs to like start stringing stuff together again, like I used to get like those 100,000 point combos and or plus that.
Yeah.
But it's funny because originally when I played Tony Hawk, you know, I was skateboarding in real life as well and like super into it. So Tony Hawk was my skateboarding sim game. Really, right? Like I would do all the tricks I wanted to do in real life in Tony Hawk, and when I build a park in the game, I would just do simple shit. It wasn't until later, until like maybe 3 when reverts became a thing, that I would worry about like chaining combos and getting crazy amounts of points. I just wanted to do a frontside kickflip to board slide and have it look cool on a rail between 2 ramps, you know? So it was weird having played Skate so much now, going back to this, not thinking of it like that, and then just really like right off the bat, going after all of those challenges and like knocking them all out. And then I just beelined it through the game. Like get Skate, get all the, you know, hit all the parking signs, get the secret tapes. And I just played it like a hardcore arcade game, and I had a lot of fun in the first one. It was great. So it kind of took on a new life for me in that sense.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Like in the first Tony Hawk The School, I could not find the 5th bell because I was not familiar. Right? It took me so long to find the 5th bell, and I'm just like, oh, where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it?
Yeah, I had fun. That's the thing. I had fun just cruising around, not worrying about tricks. Like, okay, like this run, this 2 minutes, I'm just gonna find all the bells.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I could find 4 of them right away, and one was just in a shadow, and it was kind of hard to see. It was near the pools. Yeah, but no, I'm having fun with it. I'm gonna keep playing it. I want to get all the way through 1 before I jump into 2, and then just like kind of enjoy 2. Kind of.
I haven't touched 2 yet. Haven't touched it yet. School 2 was like my favorite one ever, so I definitely got to get in there and do it because that was in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Yeah, get into the pool.
Yeah, they really nailed the vibe though. Like all of the old songs are back, maybe minus 1 or 2. The levels look familiar, but modern. Like they really hit the nail on the head as far as staying true to the original vision, but improving upon it for the remaster. So I hope they do 3 and 4 next, and I'm sure they will because I think this one sold like crazy. All right, next up, we got a game that we talked about previously on the podcast. I'm almost positive, but Sam played it for the first time, which is Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah.
It is a first-person shooter on Steam, kind of like a horde mode game, where you're a dwarf in space. So, Sam, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience with that, how you felt about it?
It was really fun and very easy to jump into, which I like. Because there's just so many games out there, I don't really have a lot of like tutorial time for them, so we were able to just buy this one and jump right in. I've been really enjoying a lot of co-op stuff lately, and this definitely falls in that category, so we played with a little team of 4. But it's cool. So you have like there's different dwarves. I think there's like 3 or 4 different classes of them, and it's just little missions where you have to collect stuff, and there's enemies, and there's a little bit of coordination involved. But it was really fun. The music was not what I was expecting, but it was great. It had some very like Stranger Things-esque vibes to it. I don't really know how to describe it.
It has a cool like synthwave soundtrack. It's very reminiscent of like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, really liked it. It's very colorful. It's got kind of like more cartoony-ish vibe to it, which I like. I like that aesthetic a lot.
It works. It doesn't need to be hyper realistic. I think.
Yeah. And it was fun. It had some kind of like Borderlands-ish feels to it, which was kind of nice. But I enjoyed it. I definitely want to play some more and level up my character and buy some sweet beards.
Yeah.
I think it works really well as a co-op shooter. Right now, a lot of like Destiny style games are really popular, right? Like looter shooters, and there's no loot in Deep Rock, but it's fun because while you're in these caves, basically the objective is to mine ore, precious metals, eggs, fossils, whatever, what have you, something. That's usually your objective. And there's also bugs that live in these caves, and they don't want you taking their shinies, so they try
No,
to
they
stop
don't.
you. No. So really, all of this stuff that you're mining, because it's not just the objective one, you'll find more precious stuff down there as well. That kind of works like the loot. It's like, oh, I see some gold over there, and then you get that little dopamine hit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a cute, really cleverly designed game. You have a little
Yeah.
robot that sounds like BB-8 that you can call to you, and he'll like saunter over, and you pour your gems out of your bucket into it, and you keep going.
Yeah.
We kind of got into like a little almost raid encounter last time, which we hadn't experienced before.
Yeah, that didn't go so great.
No, but like
Actually, it went pretty well until that we all died.
yeah, but it was cool because like there was some strats that we had to follow, or else we weren't going to beat it. So
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
I was glad to find something a little bit more, a little deeper in the game.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's nice when
and-
you run into stuff like that and you don't beat it right off the bat. Like, so many games right now are very easy. And if you just have 4 people, you can beat stuff no problem. So it was kind of nice dying and being like, oh, we might need to go back and try that again.
Hmm.
Yeah, and just to let you guys know, when you get a little further in the game, like all those resources you get, you have a pool of them, and you can spend them on like upgrades and things. You can upgrade your weapons, and I believe there are more upgrades for your weapons than you can equip. So you can customize your weapons in different ways, and then eventually you get, for at least your primary and secondary, and I don't remember beyond that, you get alternates.
Okay. Cool.
And so you can like swap out. Not only can you customize like your primary and secondary weapon to fulfill different roles, but you can actually get completely different primary and secondary weapons that'll be like a twist on
Sweet.
it. So there's some
Cool.
like diversity to your loadouts. For example, my guy has a flamethrower, but I've also unlocked the freeze thrower, which just freezes enemies solid, and then you can just smash them.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, and then you can get like, instead of a 12-shot pistol, he can get like an energy pistol that you can charge up Samus style and fire big balls and whatever.
Nice.
So yeah, and then there's like little upgrades that can make synergies between the two, like this kind of pistol does more damage to the frozen things, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some depth to it, and there's also some much harder difficulties that we can set the game to that will, as we get more powerful, raise the challenge accordingly. So there's some length to this game. There's, you know, we've only scratched the surface.
I also like that you can kick the barrels in the little hub
Yeah.
area. I like little stuff like that in games.
It has a good like waiting area, a good hub
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can drink and
Yeah.
drink strange beers. I remember I drank one, and then all of a sudden I teleported and I was outside the hub area, like floating in space. Thinking, like, what? And then my guy froze because I was in space. And yeah.
Anytime you can be on the bridge of a spaceship, look out and see a planet in orbit, I'm sold. You got me there.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
I love that stuff.
And dig.
And lots of digging. Diggy hole. All right.
Yeah. Actually, no,
Last-
it's worth mentioning as my digger class, the fact that you can have a guy with like grinder arms and you can just dig anywhere. It's very Red Faction. Like,
Mm.
you can look at the map and be like, I'm here and I want to be there. And there's this big twisty tunnel, but I'm just going to go like direct route through all the rock. And you never hit like parts of the game where it's like, no, this is unminable rock. You know, it never forces your hand in that way.
Yeah, I like that people have jobs. It's
Mhm.
nice. I like as a player, especially in a co-op game, having to rely on one of my friends to do something that I'm not able to. It makes me feel more immersed.
Yeah.
All right, Cyberpunk Night City Wire. We saw the last one. I think probably only I saw it. I don't think you guys watched it. I was looking for something to watch this morning, and Easy Allies did a reaction to it, and I was like, oh yeah, shit, that came out, and it's gonna be the last one before the game. What's that?
How long was The Wire, roughly?
20 minutes?
30 minutes. It was 30 minutes.
I've been watching all the trailers.
Okay.
I haven't dove into those, but I've been watching like there's the gang trailer that showed off all the different gangs.
So that's basically what this was. Is they showed off the gangs, and then they gave a tour of the city with one of the developers. And I've been excited about Cyberpunk for a while. This was the first time that it felt really real, and that I, like peak excitement now.
Yeah.
Seeing those different factions and seeing the world and like the different areas, like the Badlands and the city, and just the aesthetic of it, I love it, and the music, and how realized those different factions are, and how many of them there are, was awesome. But what really got me excited is that after seeing this trailer, and for some reason it was just this one and not the other ones, probably because they focus a lot on NPC guys, is this feels like Grand Theft Auto 6. This feels like the next big Rockstar game. You know, it really, I really get that vibe from what I saw, at least from the last Night City Wire. And I found so I watched the reaction stream, and I was like, shit, I need to see this in 4K, because it was in 720p for the reaction stream. Holy shit, it looks so good. Yeah, I don't need GTA 6. Just give me this. I just want to live in what's the city called?
Night
City?
It's Night City. Yeah, I just want to live in Night City all day. I can't wait to get in there. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Chris, about about how like the peak hype, like all the trailers and stuff up to this looked like they were showing us something they were working on.
Yeah.
You know, this is like, hey, and this is what we're working on, and this is what it's gonna be, and it was exciting, but it felt distant. Now it feels real. It feels like a complete thing that they have that they're going to give us soon. Not like, and then, you know, it's like when someone's walking you through the house they're renovating, and they're like, and we're going to put this tile in here and this, and you're like, oh, that would be nice, versus walking you through the post-renovated house, and you can go, oh, okay, this is what it looks like. Like, it feels like a complete real thing that is now just around the corner.
Yeah, it's very soon. It's like mid-November. It comes out after the consoles, like in the next week or something.
Yeah.
I think I want to say it's the 19th. Anyway.
Sounds right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 19th or 17th. One of the team.
What I love, though, is that this is one of the few games, even from what we saw from PlayStation Showcase, one of the few games that looks like this is going to be a next-gen showpiece. You know, so I'm excited. I'm not playing this on console. I'm going to get it on my PC. I just ordered the 3080 card today, so I'm going to be playing that baby more next-gen than next-gen. And I can't wait to see it. It's going to look so good.
Ah, I'm so proud of you.
It looks so good. Yeah, it's crazy. 6 months ago, I told you how ridiculous the processors and motherboards cost, and how I was never gonna get one of them.
Yeah.
Here I am, like $5,000 later. It's expensive.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, you're set for like ever.
Oh yeah, at least another 5 years probably.
Yeah, it's an investment.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't get the base card either. I got the Asus ROG Strix version too. So that's the best one you can get.
Nice.
For the 80 anyway. Yeah, Cyberpunk. Sam, you gonna play Cyberpunk?
I am. I'm excited for it in like a sense that a dog gets excited about things. I still don't really understand what this game is, but everyone is getting excited about it around me, and it's making me excited about it. So I will definitely buy it. I'm definitely gonna play it. But I haven't watched a lot of the trailers or seen a lot of stuff about it. I've kind of been avoiding it so I can just jump into this game and just explore. But yeah, I really don't understand what this game is.
So I was gonna say, picture Cyberpunk Grand Theft Auto with a lot more options and things like that. But Matt, did you know that Sam's never played Grand Theft Auto 5?
I did not.
Sam, have you played Grand Theft Auto 4?
I have played Vice City.
Fuck here.
And that's it.
Yeah,
And
that's-
San Andreas. Wait, and San Andreas. I played those too.
Okay.
So Grand Theft Auto 5 would actually be... It goes on sale a lot. I mean, Epic straight up gave it away at one point.
Yeah, you can probably get it for like $10 now.
Yeah.
But you
It's
should
$30.
really play it. You should really
It's
play it.
$30 on Steam. But yeah, it was definitely a game. I mean, they just keep releasing it for... It's going to be on 3 different generations of console now.
Yeah.
So it'll definitely put your computer through its paces. Like you'll probably be able to run it very, very easily and make it look very, very good.
Yeah.
But you should do that because I think you'll be very surprised at how interesting and how detailed that game is.
Okay.
So-
You've convinced
Yeah,
me.
once you get some acceptable internet, that would be a really good Sam stream.
That would.
Like,
but
Grand Theft Auto
even-
single player.
Even just getting it, and I mean, it'll probably take you like 2 days to download. But
Well, once she has good internet, though.
Yeah.
yeah, it's hold on.
Yeah,
Let me
I'm just gonna start a list of things that once I have internet.
Aren't you getting good internet soon? Didn't you call for it?
We did, and we have the best internet that they have in the
Oh,
woods right
yeah.
now.
Okay, so look forward to that in 2021, everybody.
January.
2021.
Okay,
holy
so
moly.
Grand Theft Auto is just under 90 gigs.
Yeah.
Okay, so like 4 days for me to download.
But
Yeah.
you can still do it because the online it's all right. But
Oh, you
really,
Yeah, you can play it. You just won't be able to stream it. That's all.
yeah, the single player is a really good time.
It's great. It's great.
a really good time.
All right, I'll add it to the list.
Okay, we're getting into the nitty gritty now. This next session I wrote down as pre-order shit show. So a lot of balls were dropped. A proverbial ball pit of balls were dropped on the parts of Nvidia and Sony
My balls.
just a couple days ago on Thursday, maybe. When was the
Yeah.
PlayStation event? On Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And Nvidia was the next morning.
Yeah.
So let's start with PlayStation. So we're watching the PlayStation event, and they've said very clearly before this, Jeff Keighley had an interview with one of the executives from Sony, and he said, "Don't worry, we'll give you lots of time to know when pre-orders are coming. We'll have a specific time and date, etc., etc." So everyone's like, "Okay." Everyone watches the press conference, and then I was watching these Yalas react to it, and then like it was either before it was done, like when there was 2 minutes left around the God of War reveal, or right after, someone was like, "Pre-orders live at Target," and then Walmart, and then everyone was like, and then I started trying to like check everything, and then everything was like selling out. Everywhere I went, it was like out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. So I don't know what happened behind the scenes at Target or Walmart. If like one of the executives or whoever does that stuff was just like, yeah, fuck it, like we'll make pre-orders live right now, and then all of the other distributors followed suit.
Mhm.
Best Buy, Walmart, Target, whoever else sells PlayStations, GameStop, EB Games, just they all lit up the pre-orders, and people freaked out, and servers were crashing, and websites were crashing, and
Mhm.
holy moly. And let me tell you, I don't know if you guys felt this way too. Matt, you probably didn't because you're not quite on the console bandwagon as far as me and Sam are. But I felt like a need to get it because everyone was panicking. I was like, shit, I got to get this now. I don't know why. I have to get this now.
I did not feel that need because of something we'll get into later.
Okay.
Another ball that was dropped.
Ah,
in-
yes.
Yeah.
Save
I
it.
think you know what I'm talking about.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So anyway, yeah, Sony really fucked that up, and now they're starting to have timed rollouts. Like it was like 2 days later, Walmart said they were going to start releasing some more at like this time and date.
Yeah, actually,
And then,
Sony said something very recently. Let me pull that. Oh yeah, actually, I got a great one. PlayStation. Let's be honest, PS5 pre-orders could have been a lot smoother. We truly apologize for that. Over the next few days, we will release more PS5 consoles for pre-order. Retailers will share more details. So they've acknowledged their fuck up. This is
Yeah.
a tweet.
They're gonna keep coming, obviously. Like they're not just gonna stop pre-orders 2 months before the console comes out. It's just everyone panicked collectively, and yeah, things
But it's
didn't go so well.
Over the next few days, we'll release more PS5 consoles for pre-order. What do you mean release? What are you saving them for?
So I actually managed to pick one up thanks to my friend Jamie. He had ordered one on Shoppers Drug Mart's site, of all places. I was like, Jesus, I didn't even think of checking Shoppers Drug Mart because they sell video games
They do.
and consoles there.
Yep.
And so he sent me his confirmation thing. I was like,
Paramedic Jamie?
Paramedic Jamie.
Ah.
So he sent me the link and I rushed there and then I got one. But so I sent it to someone else almost immediately after that I knew was also looking for a PlayStation.
Oh, think of the optimum points you can get on that baby.
2 minutes later, out of stock. They were gone.
Nice.
So the pre-orders were live there for like 10 minutes, and that's all it took. Shoppers out of stock, I guess, province-wide. I'm not really sure how that works.
Yeah.
But so yeah, you'll be able to get them. It's just you couldn't get them right away.
Good old Shoppers Drug Mart.
So then the next morning, if you're a PC gamer, NVIDIA was going to release their new 3080 cards, the RTX 3080, which is like super duper next gen because it's much more powerful than the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. There were no pre-orders for this, it just had the release date. So I've had, if you go on the NVIDIA site previously, it has the 3080, the 3090, and then the 3070. And under each one, there's a little green button that says notify me. So I clicked on it a month ago, signed up via email, so they would send me an email saying, okay, you can buy the card now. I didn't wait for that. I was refreshing it all morning the day it was supposed to go live. Around 9 o'clock when they were supposed to go on sale, I had refreshed it. It still said notify me. I went back probably a minute or less later, refresh, and then it said out of stock. They were just gone. In less than a minute, they were gone. And then same thing happened. So I immediately went to Best Buy, out of stock. They had like 5 different options of like third-party distributors like Asus and all those other guys. Fully out of stock. And I tried Newegg, also all gone. Computer Canada, same thing. You can only go in stores to reserve one. And they weren't sure when they were going to get them. So in this case, what happened is bots bought up a lot of the cards almost immediately.
Those robots.
And now half of them are on eBay for like $2,000. So
Yeah.
a lot of people they are accusing NVIDIA of like a paper launch. So essentially they didn't really have a lot of units to begin with. They just wanted to say, okay, they're out now to raise hype to get people to buy them. And now more are going to start coming out over the next couple of weeks. They'll be shipped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a great meme where, the guy in his kitchen with all those spatulas who showed off the card.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was
and
the talk.
It was just titled like NVIDIA showing off their entire stock of 30.
Yep. Yeah, I saw this stuff all over the place. Like people going to their local computer store, their Best Buy, and they had got shipped like 2.
Yeah.
But there was like 100 people waiting in line outside.
Fight.
So, man, that shit frazzled me because I like tech and I want it right away. But luckily, I got my PlayStation pre-order and I reserved the 3080 today. It's supposed to come in 2 to 3 weeks, so soon I'll be on the cutting edge.
It's super
Are
frustrating.
you gonna get one, Matt?
Oh, I'm definitely.
Are you waiting?
One. I'm gonna get one, but I'm not going to like fight over it. You know.
You're just gonna wait till it's in stock and then go get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for. For a number of reasons.
It's not cheap, man. $1,300 for the one that I got.
That's a big one. That's a big one of those reasons. It's also because I've been using the same case for
you need a new case?
Probably a decade, and I've done numerous modifications to the contents of said case.
Yeah.
And it's starting to look a little slapped out. It's starting to look a little orky, which I like, but
cases aren't that expensive, luckily.
Might as well just paint it red to make it go faster now. Like I have a hard drive. Okay, so I have an SSD I found a mounting bracket for an old like hard disk drive.
Yeah.
And then the SSD is about the size of a pack of cards. So I put one screw through to hold the SSD there. The SSD is like on an angle, like hanging from one screw. And I had to remove the DVD drive for the cable to do that. So it's very visible. Like in the front of my case, there's just this hole in the front of my case with this thing hanging in it. And I mean, I'm running games off that. That's great. But part of me is like, I kind of want to just I want to keep my motherboard. Maybe I'll upgrade my processor. I don't know. But I want to get my motherboard. That I kind of want to just take it in and be like, take all the shit out of this, put it in a new case, throw this card in with it, and make the cables look nice. Because that would be a fun project. But that's a lie. That would not be a fun project. That would actually, I want to pretend I'm the kind of guy who would say that's a fun project. I'm not. That would just be a day of frustration.
Oh, yeah. For you, yeah, for sure.
There's so much stuff. So because of that, there's probably going to be some additional cost to the card. So I'm going to wait, save my money up a bit.
Yeah, you can get a cool looking case for like $150 if you pick the right one.
I mean,
to be fair, expensive.
You know what? I don't even mind the look of my case, like, except for the holes I put in it, and the bottle cap attached by packing tape that rests over my power button because of my cat.
Yeah.
My cat would try and like paw at it and would sometimes just shut my computer down while I was playing, so I had to put a safety cap over that. But the big thing is my 3 intake fans at the front are like old tech, so I actually have to remove both side panels and take out 4 screws on each side for each fan, 8 screws total, to be able to pop it out and clean the filters, like the dust filters. So, and I know a lot of them now, you can just like pop those open, remove the thing, clean it out, put it back. So I want that. But now we're talking about what I want in a PC.
I used to have a big chunky black case like you, and my new one is glass and very simple with all the RGB lighting and stuff. And I think I much prefer this.
Well, actually, I do have a glass panel on my PC, but it's just where my PC is. That's up against my desk. Like, you can't see it. The glass.
Oh, okay.
If you're looking at the PC,
yeah,
the glass panel is on the left, but my PC is to my right. So the glass panel is facing away. Got it.
I enjoy being able to see all the internals and having it all lit up and having it be more low key and not looking like a clean on warship,
Oh, well, when you say it like that.
All right, let's get to the PlayStation Showcase, which was pretty great. Probably the best digital event they've had this year so far, as far as selling me on the PlayStation.
I don't think bug snacks.
No bug snacks. So first they surprised us with Final Fantasy 16. First announced, never seen it before, running on PC. They said it, at least. They started the video with that, which was funny. I'm not like a huge Final Fantasy fan. I played some of the older games. I've watched Final Fantasy VII OG being played all the way through on a stream. So I've dabbled in the series. Am I going to play this one? Probably not. I didn't play 15. It wasn't really well received. This one does look more interesting though. So it has a lot more of a medieval aesthetic to it. The combat is action combat, not turn-based. And it looks more reminiscent to Devil May Cry than previous Final Fantasy games.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, with some big summons and stuff like that. It looks more violent. So it was interesting. What did you guys think?
It looks much more fantasy.
Yeah.
Like it really.
It looks more like The Witcher or something.
Castles. We got stone castles. We got like knights and stuff. There wasn't an airship in sight. There wasn't anything like techno-y. No guns. The violence is there. Apparently they did snipe the combat director from Devil May Cry, so that's why it looks more Devil May Cry.
Yeah. Not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing at all. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 for PS4 did get an 81 on Metacritic, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad, but that's not good either.
I would say 80 is good. I say 80 is good, and anything above that is kind of like phenomenal. Like 90s is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, user score 7.6. But who cares about user score? Those review bombers and fucking shit up for user. Yeah, but no, this looks very interesting. Yeah, let's.
So Sam, you played Final Fantasy VII Remake, and you kind of noped out of it after like 5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did this one catch your eye, or are you kind of like, I'm good with Final Fantasy now?
I never really got into the Final Fantasy series. Like, really, the most Final Fantasy I've played is Kingdom Hearts, which is really not it at all. But I played 7. I only got about halfway through and just kind of got bored of it. So I don't know if that was a nostalgia thing for people who were just wanting the remake and thoroughly enjoyed it. But for me, it was just kind of like, okay. It kept going back and forth between like really heavy combat and then a lot of story, and the flow was just really weird. Like, I didn't like the pace of it. I'd spend an hour watching cutscenes and then an hour of combat, so I don't really know. The trailer looked cool. I'm gonna have to wait and see gameplay and see what it's going to actually look like in terms of pacing, because I like the whole anime-ish style. I like the medieval aspect to it. I like non-turn-based combat, so definitely interested, but I'm gonna have to see more. It's not something that I'm going to rush out and get. I'll probably watch a couple of reviews and see how people like it.
Okay.
How will the presence or non-existence of levers in Final Fantasy VI influence your decision making, Sam?
I will have to know how many lever puzzles are in there before I buy this game.
I'm pretty sure that's what really stopped you dead in your tracks in Final Fantasy VII.
You know what? It pretty much is. That was the end of Chapter 6. We started 7. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. No more.
Fuck these puzzles.
I hate it. I don't like puzzles. I do not like puzzle games at all.
So next we saw Spider-Man Miles Morales, the first gameplay we've gotten to see from that. Spider-Man's definitely a game I'm going to get on day one with that console. The first one, Spider-Man, was really, really well done. If this is just more of the same, I'd be super into it, but it looks a lot better. You have those unique Miles Morales Spider-Man version powers. So he's got a lot of like energy blasts. He can become invisible, things like that.
Yeah, what happened there? Did the spider bite Electro and then Miles Morales ate Electro?
I don't know. I guess it's just the spider that bit him, like the version of the spider, the super spider that bit him. But that's just his thing. So that makes the combat that we saw on the set piece, which is like a big bridge that's falling apart, looked a lot more like high energy and more intense than the stuff you're used to from the Amazing Spider-Man. I like the vibes. I like the music, like the hip hop kind of music they were playing. His suit looks really cool. I'm excited to see all the alternate suits, because that was a really fun part of the original Spider-Man. I think there's like 30 of them or something in OG Spider-Man. And you could see during that bridge set piece how important the solid state drive is going to be, how much shit was going on, like the detail and everything, like him falling through the bus to save that guy and then like webbing the bridge together. But like, there's just so many things going on at the same time.
A lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, so I think that solid state drive is playing a big part there. I think it's just going to be more of what was great about Spider-Man, just amplified, which I'm all in for.
Yeah,
it looks fun.
I'm definitely excited to play it. Having only just played Spider-Man a couple months ago, kind of missed the boat on that one when it came out, but it was way more enjoyable than I thought, and I'm definitely excited for that one. Spider-Man's actually the only game I've finished in probably the last like 8 months out of all the games I've bought and played.
Jesus, get your shit together.
You know what? I'm just getting 10 hours into games, and then I'm like, I'm good.
That's okay. If that's all you want to play, then that's the game's fault, not yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the games who are wrong.
Look at you, Ghost of Tsushima.
a little bit more info on Spider-Man, and this came from Jeff Keighley right after the press conference. And actually, a lot of people got a lot of info from Jeff Keighley after the press conference that Sony just decided to leave out for some reason that he had. But this comes with the Spider-Man Ultimate Edition, which includes the first Spider-Man game with not just up-res, but it has ray tracing in it. It'll have, the 3D audio. It'll have 4K, 60 frames per second, all that kind of stuff. So, and then actually some more stuff to the game as well. So like more quests, more missions. So like a much better version of that
don't need
game
this at all anymore.
that you're holding. Yeah, maybe just wait and play it on PS5, I guess. But I didn't know that. I thought it would be just an up-res version of the original Spider-Man, and apparently it's going to be a lot more than that. So that's cool.
Neat.
Yeah. And one thing we might as well get to now as well, because this was the example they used for it, but apparently this game is going to use 105 gigabytes of storage space on your just under 1 terabyte SSD. So a lot of the articles that I saw, and that's just for the base game, not for the extras. It was 105 gigabytes plus more, just for Spider-Man. So I start to see a lot of articles pop up just today, saying, basically talking about how fast the storage space on that solid-state drive is going to go, if that's the trend that games are going to follow.
Oh yeah,
because that's a huge file, right?
Sam, you might want to invest in the disc first. PS5. I'm just saying.
I got the digital version.
By the time I have it, I'll have internet.
I'm just saying.
Personally, I've never had an issue with space on my PS4. Once I'm done with the game, I delete it off my PlayStation. I don't keep it, on my home screen. It's always in the cloud, so I can always get it back if I want. My save files are there, so I don't see myself running out of storage space.
Yeah.
That was definitely a download-based comment.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the issue with the storage space happens when you start doing a lot more like online gameplay. So it's like you'll have 1 or 2 single-player games that you're playing. Like that's the reason why I'd never download Call of Duty, because I'm like, okay, I need to know, are we playing Battlefront, Battlefield, or Call of Duty? Because I only have space for one of those on my PlayStation at a time. But yeah, I usually delete stuff as soon as I'm done. It's just when you have those like 1 or 2 kind of big games that you play off and on always that take up a lot of space. But single player games shouldn't be too much of an issue in terms of
Call
space.
of Duty is a special case. I remember when I actually stopped playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, they put out patches and shit all the time. And a patch had come out that was 90 gigabytes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I stopped it and I was like, nope. I deleted it off my hard drive. I was like, enough of this. Because that was like patch 5. That was 90 gigabytes also.
Yeah.
They're just too much. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's possible those 90 gigabytes were going to overwrite 90 currently existing gigabytes, and it wouldn't inflate the game that much.
It had happened multiple times.
Yeah, the thing is, Call of Duty, you say, is a special case, but now we're hearing this single-player game is, half a Call of Duty.
True.
Yeah.
Also keep in mind this single-player game, which has like a 10-hour or so experience of Miles Morales, also has a whole other game attached to it.
Yeah.
Now, what will be interesting,
plus 3 DLCs.
and I don't know if anyone's commented on this yet, but ever since the PlayStation 3, maybe even sooner, but I heard about it in PlayStation 3, you could actually like open your PlayStation and take out the hard drive and replace it with another.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can put an
So-
SSD in there. Yep.
Yeah, when 2 terabyte SSDs become more common in price thing, like can you throw one of those in your PS5 and just double its capacity?
I think you'd be able to. What I saw though, this is just one example. I don't know if this is correct, but apparently, so I can put an SSD in my PlayStation, but to get one that works efficiently is apparently a lot more expensive than just getting an off-the-shelf one.
Interesting.
That's just what I read.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure the specifics on that.
Yeah, we won't dive into this because it'll just be speculation, but
Yeah.
maybe for a future podcast.
Okay, so next we saw, or at least the next relevant game we saw, I'm going to skip a few that I honestly don't really care about, like Call of Duty. A spicy one, Harry Potter. So this game was rumored, it actually kind of got leaked a little bit like a year ago because people were playtesting it and someone like snuck the footage out, or I think they took a phone video of their capture unit. So we've known that this is coming from Warner Brothers. I kept on hearing it was going to be at this event and that event, and it kept on not showing up. I was really surprised when we saw it. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and I have been since like grade 8. I love the books, I love the movies, and I am thrilled at the chance to walk around in a open world version of Hogwarts and Hogsmeade and all that kind of stuff. All the hogs. That's gonna be amazing to have an RPG in the Harry Potter world. So that's great. That's what it's going to be, an open world RPG. But the problem now is that J.K. Rowling in the last couple of months has revealed herself to be a large bigot. So a lot of the discourse that I'm seeing around this game, and it's coming largely from streamers actually, who are, I guess, either trans themselves, or they have trans friends, or they're very involved in social justice warrior culture, are basically saying if you support this game, you are also a transphobe, and you are supporting J.K. Rowling, who is a transphobe. So I see a lot of cyberbullying going on, essentially, is what I would call that. What do you guys think about that?
See, the only thing I thought of was like, maybe they're trying to dodge. Maybe that was the reason for the setting. This is set before, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Just disclaimer: I have not read any of the Harry Potters, and I have seen the first movie and pieces of the other. So I'm not a Harry Potter person.
It's set before anything so far that we have in the universe.
So by keeping the setting but removing literally all the characters created by J.K. Rowling, they were trying to dodge this sort of reaction, and I guess it didn't work. I mean, shit, I don't know, because I didn't follow Harry Potter and didn't follow J.K. Rowling. I also am not entirely. I've heard bits and pieces and seen tweets and stuff about things J.K. Rowling was supposed to have said. I'm not 100% clear, because this has been, let's admit it, these J.K. Rowling things, this has been going for almost a year now, it feels like, or maybe just COVID makes it seem that way.
Oh, longer than that.
months.
Longer than that.
You know, it's been a whole long thing, and I haven't followed it. So, I don't know.
So can we enjoy the world of Hogwarts, the world of Harry Potter, and separate it from its creator, basically?
I've always kind of been like, separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
That's always been my stance, because especially recently, because in the last few years there have been a lot of situations where people who produce things that we enjoy have turned out to be not good people. There are numerous examples of this, but you know, it's like, I don't. Kevin Spacey's still a good actor.
Yep.
Big fucking creep. Still a good actor. Usual Suspects, great movie. I'm not gonna not watch that anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, you can, but maybe you just have to like offset it a bit. Like if you're gonna play that game, then like look up what J.K. Rowling did and denounce it. You know, maybe that's a good thing. Because fuck. The sad fact is J.K. Rowling's probably still going to be very famous, and she's still writing stuff. She's still going to probably sell books.
Yeah, it is a fact.
You're not going.
It is a fact.
I very much doubt that by boycotting this game, you will significantly impact J.K. Rowling's bottom line.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the Harry Potter franchise is so big now, and it's got so many other companies and things involved that it's not like J.K. Rowling made this in her basement and she's getting the money from this. Like, it's going to a completely different team. I don't even know how much of it she owns anymore, because she's licensed out so much of it. She might not even be getting a single dollar from this. It could be all going to Warner Brothers. And I've been kind of in the same boat with Matt. Like, my circle is very small. I'm not on social media much. After watching the trailer and getting all excited about it and then seeing some tweets on it, I had to go back and find like a BuzzFeed summary of what's going on with J.K. Rowling, because I'm like, I don't know. I know I read the books. I love Harry Potter, and after that I haven't really kept up with much about it or what's happened with the people involved. So I'm definitely gonna get the game, because I just love Harry Potter. I have no love for J.K. Rowling. I don't think about J.K. Rowling when I think about Harry Potter.
Wait, Sam, you read the books?
Oof.
You
Yeah.
are worse than Hitler.
I know.
I think it's safe to say that the property has taken on another life past, where J.K. Rowling initially took it.
J.K. Rowling's writing murder mysteries now, as I believe.
Well, and
She is under a pseudonym.
You could apply this to a bunch of different things. Like if you look at, you can look at Star Trek. Gene Roddenberry was not a nice person, and we're still watching.
H.P. Lovecraft.
Exactly, we're still watching Star Trek. Like no one's
Whoa.
going to see the new movies. No one's watching Lower Decks right now, thinking about Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah, these people were still very influential. If you didn't have Lovecraft, we wouldn't have half of the sci-fi and horror that we have now. And same with Gene Roddenberry. For God's sakes, Dr. Seuss was a rabid racist man as well. Yeah, oh yeah. Look it up. So, yeah, I'm a believer in the death of the author, death of the artist, whatever. Separating the two and enjoying one.
Yeah. I mean, shit. People drive Volkswagens. Look who founded that company up.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true.
I believe you'll be unpleasantly surprised.
All right. Moving on to the next one. I don't think I'm going to get this game, but it looks unique. And I think, Matt, maybe you're more interested in it than me. But Deathloop.
Oh, Deathloop.
Yeah, we saw some more direct gameplay from Deathloop, which has a very cool vibe to it.
Yeah, it has a real kind of 70s kind of grindhousey cinema vibe to its art style. But no, Outer Worlds is the Obsidian one. Outer Wilds is the one with the exploration in space and the loops.
Yes.
So I've seen it kind of compared to that. It's kind of almost a Dishonored, Hitman, Outer Wilds combo.
It looks a little bit like Team Fortress 2.
I mean, yeah, it has a bit of that.
That's what I got
too. But I don't think it's going to play anything like Team Fortress 2. So
no.
Not using it it's, yeah.
Oh, it looks like you're gonna have whatever character you're playing as, the man or the woman. You're gonna have your shot at this run essentially, and then the opposing side is gonna have theirs, and then you're gonna get to change the loop. You're gonna get to change the series of events by a little bit each time or something,
or learn them. I think it's gonna be some sort of trial and error thing where it's what they showed in the trailer, the guy has 8 targets, but not enough time to kill them all.
True.
So what you have to do is each run figure out the motivations and locations and the routines of these targets, and then in kind of a Hitman sort of way, be like, well, if I do this before they get here, they'll react differently, and they'll move to a different place. And you have to get really into learning this repeating pattern of all these characters and learning how you can modify them all to condense the target, get more targets in the same place, or maybe travel faster. Maybe you can even do something tiny where you set up something you cut the brakes on someone's car right at the beginning, and then hours later they will die in a car crash. You don't even have to do that, So it seems like it's got a good trial and error way of messing with a very complicated system to achieve a goal. And I find that fun because it's a fun little mind puzzle. Like in Hitman, when very first Hitman, when you realize, hey, if I can get a waiter's costume, I can get in the kitchen, and then I can take the poison from the fugu fish and I can put it in the food, and it's
fugu fish.
Yeah,
it looks very it's going to be very strategic.
Yeah,
it's
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
It also looks fast and fluid, and you have those Dishonored abilities, and like Dishonored was fucking great. Honestly, I played through it the first time, trying to like do 0 kills, and even my targets, like I do the manipulation thing where they just get arrested and like sent to toil in the salt mines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then my second playthrough, I'm like, I'm gonna kill everyone, even if they're out of the way. And I used an entirely different array of gadgets and playstyle, but it was still fun. I was still doing it stealth. Oh, it was great. So these people know how to make. Arcane knows how to do branching paths and alternate gameplay styles to achieve, like, multiple means to achieve the same end very well.
Yeah,
it was fast, fluid, and with something behind that. I'm in.
All right.
I'm in.
Sam, are you in?
Nope.
Not into it.
No. I mean, like it looks cool. It's just I've already got so many little like shooters on the PlayStation. I just don't need another one right now.
What about on PC?
Oh,
Is this going to be out on PC? Did they say, or was this PlayStation exclusive?
Sam, is that your leg, or did you put a blanket over your dog?
This is my leg.
It does come with the dog and the blanket.
Just cover him
Oh.
up.
All right, next we got to see Demon Souls gameplay finally. Oh boy, this was the highlight of the press conference for me. Demon Souls looks like we're essentially just getting this is the new Dark Souls. This is next gen Dark Souls. Here you go. I don't look at it as Demon Souls remake, because I think it's clear that they've taken what was kind of a janky game that was figuring a lot of stuff out that then later got refined in Dark Souls, and they're just like, let's just make this as good as possible. And man, does it look good! Right from the get-go, when you see the player character kind of like hop over the barrier onto the ground, like just the way that his body moves, the animation, how he lands, that first backstab that he does, it looks so seamless and smooth and realistic, and it's lit so well. I can't wait to explore that world. It looks so good. What did you guys think?
I'll go
It's
last.
yeah, I know. I figured Matt probably has a lot to say. It's one of the first trailers I've seen this summer, I would say, out of all of the stuff we've seen, that like really, really looked good. Because there's a lot of games that have come out that are like supposed to be next gen, and you're like, okay, it looks all right, but like just looking at, I've looked at a lot of armor sets. I've looked at a lot of armor in video games over my life, and this was some of like the most beautiful, realistic looking stuff I've seen. And
yeah, I feel the same.
And it's like you'll see a lot of character models that look good, but when they actually are animated and they start moving, like you're like, okay, that looks like that's not even someone in like a motion cap suit. That's just a very basic like walk, and everybody's walking the same, very robotic. It just looked great. Like it actually looked like a person in a suit of armor walking around, and it blew me away. I watched the trailer like 4 or 5 times after the presentation, and I'm very excited for it.
One thing I want to add to that too, to what you're saying, Sam, is when the character did something simple like rolling, which is like a Dark Souls staple, right? You roll around to avoid attacks, but it looks kind of goofy when you do it in Dark Souls. Like even in Dark Souls 3 and in Bloodborne, it looks like you're doing a video game thing.
Yeah.
When this character rolled in the Demon Souls remake, it looked smooth. It looked natural. It looked like someone was actually jumping and doing a forward roll. Like it looked really believable and good. It didn't look like I was hitting the circle animation. It looked like he was fucking rolling.
Yeah.
And you're kind of blown through enemies really quickly in the first area, and it's just the opening area, so rightly so. But even that one sword slash to kill them and the way the enemy would react to it looked believable.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a video game kill. It looked like a real life, this man in armor just killed that guy.
Yeah. Out of everything I've seen so far, that's the game that I'm most excited for. Out of everything all
same.
summer,
Can't wait to play it day one.
which is my one thing with Cyberpunk. That's the only thing that I'm not excited about. Is it might just be me, but like the character models don't look good. Like the environment looks great, but
they have a certain art style to them, whereas Demon Souls has that hyper real aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Another thing I want to touch on too, and Matt, I want to get like your opinions on purely the game before we go into any stupid controversy stuff.
Oh yeah, no. I've got plenty.
So one thing I'll say before I bring it to Matt is we saw the power of the SSD and what that's going to do, or a little bit of what that's going to do as far as Demon Souls goes. And in the trailer, we have the character who uses essentially what is like a bonfire mechanic to warp from this first area to the next area where the first boss is, and it happens instantaneously.
Mm-hmm.
He disappears and then he reappears in the next area with a nice little animation. If this was Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Sekiro, that would be like a 10-second load screen.
Yeah.
Which really breaks up the flow of combat and action and immersion. And it's here, he's gone, he's there. That's it. You're in the next area. Boom, go.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's a very small, simple thing, but it adds a lot to it. So Matt, what did you think of it as a whole?
Oh, I was very impressed. And I was a little worried that they would get the speed wrong. Now, because I love Dark Souls 3, I love Bloodborne, but my one complaint, and I've mentioned this before with Dark Souls 3, is I think they were still a little too much in Bloodborne headspace.
Right.
When they did that. And I feel like Dark Souls 3 lost a good deal of weight in its combat because they wanted the game to be fast. Like, they're like, oh, people really love the speed of Bloodborne, which I love in Bloodborne. Because in Bloodborne, you're wearing, like, there's no real armor in Bloodborne. It's just different suits, you know? With the exception of, like, you know, maybe you can put, like, something metal on your head. But, like, there were no heavy builds in Bloodborne, so the speed made sense. And also just in that context. In Dark Souls 3, they kind of fucked up the poise system. There was really no other outside of challenge. There was really no huge benefit to making a heavy character. Trust me, I did it. But in this, I was really excited to see like there was a weight to the combat. Like, you know,
it looked very.
It took a second, but it hit hard, and it's like there you go.
It looked very deliberate. Everything looked very deliberate.
Now, that being said, as someone who's started Demon Souls numerous times, if you pick that character that starts with that armor and those weapons, you should be fat roll. Because that. But obviously, the stats were tweaked for this particular gameplay. That can be told in... There's a few tells. One, every enemy went down in one hit. That wouldn't happen. Those little, like, in the first courtyard before he touches the bonfire, those guys should go down in one hit. And then when you get in and they're not like zombie dudes, they're like just regular soldiers, those guys should be like 2 hits. And then those blue helmed things with like the glowing blue eyes, those should take multiple hits. I think there was only 1 or 2 of those.
But he parried those. The knights?
He did parry them. However, he did block one with just a sword, which should have done some damage to him and broken his guard eventually from chip damage. Maybe, maybe not. The one thing is he blocked with his shield several shield bashes, which are supposed to be your stamina breaking things. So I think his endurance was jacked up so you could block a shield bash with your shield without being overrun. And I also think that is why he rolled so... I didn't think of this until you said it, Chris. I think that's why, despite the heavy armor and being at the beginning of the game, he was able to roll so quickly. I think when you actually play through, if you take that gear, you probably won't be that swift. You'll probably have to manage stamina a bit more.
So what would you say to hypothetically, what if they've reworked the stat system? What if they've reworked stamina and equip load and things like that? What if it's different for this?
I mean, it will depend how. Like, there will be some things in the stat system I'm almost certain they have reworked. Like, the one thing I will be very shocked if returns is inventory limit, which was only in Demon Souls and then dropped thereafter. But your endurance in Demon Souls not only determined how much you could wear without fat rolling, it was how much you could carry, period. So you could get to a point where you can't pick up an armor set, right? You can't pick up a shiny because you're overburdened. And then you have to go back to the Nexus and talk to a guy named Stockpile Thomas. The mechanic actually persisted well past Demon Souls, despite the removal of that limit. Like in Dark Souls, you have the bottomless box, and I think you eventually get that in like other Dark Souls, and I think Bloodborne let you, you know, when you like pick up a blood vial and there's too many, so you have too many, so it goes into your
Stores them, yeah.
Yeah, it stores them. So that storage mechanic lived on, but originally it was a required thing where you'd have to drop off gear you weren't using in order to pick up more gear. I would be very surprised if that continues. If they tweak the stats, I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of stats that affected the game in a lot of ways, so I need to see the specific tweak. Like, I can't just be like, tweaking would be good or tweaking would be bad. Remove the storage thing, but outside of that, I don't know. I might have to pop Demon Souls in, get the old PS3 out, pop this baby in, and see, refresh myself with some of that. But no, I think Demon Souls feels like an older Souls game, like the weight and everything. I'm kind of optimistic that it will be a step back from Bloodborne in terms of speed, but also still as challenging, just in a different way. It's going to be more about time.
I mean,
Sam, you're going to have to learn to fucking parry, or you're just fucking...
We got to remember that it is a remake of a game and not a continuation of the Souls series. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's going to have those properties.
Yeah, I feel like they're just going to polish off what was the template for the Soulsborne series.
Yeah.
And even Sekiro. Like, Demon Souls was the first of this line they had, and it had some some jank because it was a new concept and they were trying new things. But I think they can polish that off and get to what underneath was fundamentally a fantastic game that really became the template for everything past. And hopefully they also bring back some of the... I want some of the quirks, like maybe not the inventory one, but yeah, I don't know.
We don't know. I mean,
I don't know what they're going to do.
You're going to have to wait and see, I think.
It seems to be on the right path.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of areas. I saw at least 4 areas from... No, 5. I saw enough of the game in that trailer to know that, like, it looks like they're right on track. Like, it looks the part.
Yeah.
It seems to play the part.
You know what? We'll find out very soon. Even though it was the first gameplay we saw, I honestly, I hope we don't see anything else. Let me just play the game now. What they didn't show us was any of the core mechanics, was any UI, was like anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
If there's going to be world tendency or anything. So, like, we'll find that out when it comes out. I'm excited to have it just be a surprise, to be honest with you.
They showed us legit the tutorial area. Like, I think you even saw a few of the, like, little writings on the ground, like the little orange messages.
Yeah.
When you're going through them, those are ones like, use left stick to move. Those are not player messages, you know, use R1 for light attack.
I do hope they incorporate Dark Souls style co-op system, because I don't want this to be a Sekiro experience. I want to play this game with you guys, you know?
Yeah, so I misinterpreted when you said co-op. Like, Demon Souls had co-op.
Okay.
It had.
So hopefully it's just smooth and refined, like Dark Souls 3.
It had co-op the way that the first few Dark Souls had. So when you said Dark Souls co-op system, I assumed you meant like the password matching, where you can like play with a specific friend.
Yeah.
Because Demon Souls had that thing where you could summon someone to your game, but you couldn't determine who that someone is. You can either get a stranger to help, or you can be attacked by a stranger. It's all strangers. I hope they make that not.
Same.
Also,
Yeah, same.
Demon Souls first appearance of Patches. Can't
Ugh.
wait to see that Patches.
Hopefully he's not a spider.
I will
He's
kill
not
him.
a spider, but he actually does the exact same thing he does in the first Dark Souls. Exactly.
Okay. Before we move on, there was a little bit of a F up with this one too.
There was.
When they showed the end card, basically, they said it was coming to PC as well. So people got excited.
Now, they didn't do that in the presentation. And I remember when we were watching the presentation.
It was in the trailer.
Yeah, it was in the trailer they released, not in the presentation. I remember it kind of just cut to black after the "you died" thing, and there was actually they must have realized it then, because there was no information after, no date, no place. But
yeah, so who knows what happened behind the scenes? The trailer had a message that it was coming to PC at the end. They quickly took that down and then remedied it, because it is very much a PlayStation exclusive game, not coming to PC.
Not quick enough.
Yeah, to be honest with you, this is why I pre-ordered my PlayStation. If Demon Souls was coming to PC, I probably would have held back at least a month or two for PS5, but I have to play Demon Souls, so I'm getting that right away on day one.
Yeah, so my thing on that is that I went into this assuming that Demon Souls was going to be a PS5 exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on a bit of a roller coaster ride when it was like, oh shit, it's coming to PC. And then like I was on a lot of message boards. A lot of people were getting very excited. Like if you say they changed it very quick, there was insane hype for the PC version of Demon Souls, even in those few hours.
Oh, because the internet was boiling over after that. That's why.
And so then when they take it back, like, even though I went into this expecting it to be a PS5 exclusive, the fact that they said it would come to PC and I was able to get excited for that for a few hours before they were like, oops, no, it's not. It's like, it really, really put me off. Even though ultimately, like, it was only an expectation I'd held for a few hours. It's like someone being like, you know, you know what? Let's, Chris, I recently bought a monitor off of you. Imagine if I had come over with one price in my mind, and then you went, oh, psych, actually, I want an extra $500. You know, it would be like, oh, fuck you. You know, and that's basically what happened. A bunch of people, like you said yourself, you would not have pre-ordered the PS5.
No, but also a factor in that was because it was apparently coming to PC, you were going to get it on PC, and as I'd rather play this game with you guys,
yes,
I was going to get it on PC. But now that there's no option, it's PlayStation option.
And I get that. And I totally understand that, but effectively, we went from expecting to pay, well, we're going to get into this later, but the price of a PS5 game plus a console for it.
Yep.
And then they said, actually, you don't need to buy the console. You can just pay the price of the game because you already have something to play it. And we went, okay. And then they went, psych, no, you got to buy the fucking console. And it's just like, oh, dude, like if you hadn't said it, if you hadn't fucked up, I wouldn't have seen this as a price increase, but now I do.
Right.
There's one more thing that also contributes to that for me is I had already decided to upgrade to the 3080 card, which is essentially next gen for my PC. If I wasn't doing that, or I couldn't afford to do that, I would still get it on PlayStation because it's much cheaper than a 3080 card, and I can enjoy Demon Souls as it is intended, because this is clearly going to be a very pretty demanding game, and I wouldn't want to be playing that on an older GPU. I would want to play that on the PS5, you know?
Yes. Now, something else just sort of bubbled into my brain there. There is one thing I'm kind of glad about with this being a PS5 exclusive, and it's not a make or break thing for me, but and this would be Bluepoint. This would be a different publisher, but Souls games on PC are not cheat proof.
Oh yeah, and for sure I thought about that too. I was like,
so-
okay, we're gonna play on PC. That means we're gonna deal with a lot of fucking hackers and griefers.
We won't
and
deal
things
with a
like that.
lot, but because of the nature of a Souls
They're
game,
there.
like even if you only encounter 3 in your entire playthrough,
Hmm.
they're a very memorable 3.
Oh yeah, I know.
You know, you're going back to get your souls, and then someone shows up with no weapons and no things and starts like hitting you with weapons you can't even see and flying around, and you're just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Can I at least get my souls back? No, I guess I can't. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're playing it on PlayStation.
we are playing it on PlayStation.
So last, as a bit of a surprise, after the CEO, whatever he is, I can't remember his name now, said like, "There you go, there you have it." They showed us the price. We'll get to the price in a second. They snuck in God of War. So it was just a title card. It was like a fucking Elder Scrolls 6 announcement. But apparently it's coming next year. So they've had 3.5 years to work on this game.
Yep.
Mike, I'm excited. I love God of War. And I got really excited at the press conference as well. My question to you guys for this one is, do you think this is going to be a Miles Morales style sequel to God of War, or is this going to be essentially God of War 2? Is this going to be a whole other God of War game? Because in God of War the original, they've certainly laid the foundation for a follow-up in that world, right? You have the Bifrost with 4 different realms that you couldn't get to. So are we essentially just going to be like at the same Bifrost that is now frozen over from Ragnarok, and we're going to go to those other realms? You know?
Yeah.
Maybe.
What do you think?
I don't know. I had a flutter. I'm very quick on this one. I had a flutter of excitement, but there was very little substance. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, it'll be what it'll be. And
Is
that's
that-
how I feel.
Is that maybe why they can get the game out so quickly? Is because it's going to be maybe a 10-hour experience?
Is it really that quickly though? I mean, like it's been. It could be the very end. It could be holiday 2021, and that gives them another like full
Yeah.
year to work on it.
So which could almost be 5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it's
I'm
another full
hoping
game.
for a full game. I'm hoping for a full
Yeah.
game. God of War has put out. They haven't really put out any small ones lately. Like they did have Ghosts of Sparta, and they did have some smaller games. But I think they're past that now. Like they haven't put one out in a while. It would be time in another year for another full God of War.
I don't think you can follow up this one with a small game.
No, like I
This
don't
one-
even know what you would do.
The God of War reboot was like prolific. You can't just follow it up with a whimper.
Yeah.
It's got to be a bang.
Yeah.
I don't think they can do a small God of War unless shortly, I mean, talking like next couple of months max,
Mhm.
they announce a proper God of War 2. Like if you know,
yeah, that'd be
going
good.
into it, like if this is like this will be your appetizer, the entree is on the way.
Mhm.
Then that could work. But if this was just going to be, I think it's going to be a full game because frankly, having 2 games in the series named God of War is already confusing. We can't have God of War 2. So I think like how we got Doom, but then we didn't get Doom 2. We got Doom Eternal, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think instead of getting God of War 2 again, we're going to get God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
only worry, if it is a small game, is that it's going to be like a side small game, like stuff about Atreus, or like a side story that doesn't really involve
Nah,
Kratos,
I don't think that's...
because you have to have, like, he has to
Yeah.
be the main
Boss
character,
fight.
and if he's the main character, it has to be a full game.
Ragnarok implies it's going to follow the storyline from the first one and
Yeah.
continue it, because that's what they did at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Triggered
Boss fight,
Ragnarok.
You play as Atreus and kill Kratos.
No.
Don't you like that.
No.
say those words.
But no, so they either pick up immediately after and they reuse some of the same location.
Mhm.
They could also do a time jump, and suddenly Atreus is like a young man.
I would like that.
And they've been traveling since, like, they've left. You know what's in their shack other than like bad memories and stinky furs.
Yeah,
Like,
I would like that.
They got everything out of it. So if they've been traveling, then you can have a new area. You got Atreus not being like, well, actually, Atreus was not a liability. Atreus was a very, very useful archer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, I think that would be cool. See Atreus a little grown up.
Same, I agree.
New area.
Like a young man Atreus, like 19, 20, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be good. With more control of his god powers.
More control of his god powers, and you know what? Playable would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, or
not
parts,
mind having,
certain parts playable.
Certain parts playable, or just shit. What if there's like a co-op feature?
That'd be cool.
Like you can play one player as Kratos, one player as Atreus.
Yeah.
Atreus can beat ass now.
Okay, but if we do that, I'm never gonna be Atreus.
What's wrong with Atreus? Other than the fact that he's
I don't like playing as anyone other than Kratos.
Loki.
Kratos
maybe he's
my
really
dude.
cool. You don't know.
Nah.
I mean, will he still be Atreus, or will he just finally go by the name Loki? Because Atreus is Loki. Just if you didn't.
Yes, I got that.
Okay, and they finished up the Sony press conference with the price. So my question to you guys is, are you happy with the price?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's less than I thought it was
Baby
gonna
Yoda?
be.
Okay. Actually, you know what? Just because you brought that
really
up, I
cute.
read a pretty interesting little, like, it was something about, like, an Emmy nomination, but it was an interesting kind of takedown of why they didn't want to nominate The Mandalorian. And they actually said that if you removed Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian, it would be completely forgettable
You're right.
and not good.
Yep.
So they were just like, you know what? This is actually just like the Emperor has no clothes.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, The Mandalorian isn't actually a good show. People just like Baby Yoda. And I was like, shit. Now I have to watch that again because I think you might be right.
No, you know what? The battle droid was really awesome too. The one that Taika Waititi voiced.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the IG unit.
Yeah, IG-88. Is that it? IG-88.
Well, you see, this goes back. Okay, now we're talking about The Mandalorian, but all my favorite characters died in the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Ognaut and I like the IG unit. They were my two favorite characters, hands down. And by the end, they're both gone. Now you can always bring back another IG unit because there's like dozens of them.
Yeah, but now we get Ashoka in the in season 2. We get Jedi, baby. And if you didn't watch Rebels or Clone Wars, you're not familiar with that character.
I am not.
She's cool. She's really cool.
She's a cool Jedi. That being said, someone made a really awesome GIF of like Sony with the pre-orders, and it's just Baby Yoda on board the bounty hunter's ship when he goes to like slowly press the hyperspeed button. It's like,
yeah.
So yeah, what did you guys think of the price? Are you happy with the essentially $4.99, $5.99, whatever it was?
Yeah, no, price is
Canada?
fine.
Yep.
I'm not
palatable.
unhappy. I'm not like super pleasantly. It wasn't cheaper than I expected it to be, but it was also not more expensive. It was pretty much bang on.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty much exactly what I
that's
was
a fair
thinking.
price.
Yeah.
I like where they ended up. It's not. It doesn't make me feel icky. It's not that much money, you know. $500. That's not so bad.
Yeah.
That's not so bad. I still want the lump.
Well, I mean, you'll have to pre-order it now, won't you?
Yeah. I still want
I'll
you can
probably get the digital
guarantee-
one.
You can guarantee release day is also going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
Like, good luck. All right. So one little editorial question I have for you guys before we wrap it up was another new kind of staple as far as next gen goes is So the price of games are going up. Is $100 Canadian too much for a game? And what constitutes its worth?
Okay, question. Is that confirmed? Is $100? Yes, that's absolutely too much for a game.
That's how much they're going to cost. That's how much Demon Souls costs. Like after taxes and everything, that's how much it
after
costs.
taxes and everything. That's
Yes.
a good qualifier. Because yes, I know that like games are like $80 after taxes. They're like 90 something, so they're going up. Okay, cool. I thought like we were seeing like
add $10. Add $10 to it.
Now,
I've seen
does
like
that
99,
include my $3 game protection from GameStop?
No,
No.
doesn't include that. So yeah, is that how do you quantify that? Because you have games like God of War or whatever, games like that are in development for 5+ years, that have thousands of people working on them, that are 30-hour narrative experiences, high budget. Is that worth $100 to you?
For me, it always comes down to how much time I put into the game. If I play a game for 100 hours and I'm playing about $1 an hour,
Yeah.
sure, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Recently I've bought a lot of games for $80 that I've only played for about less than 10 hours, and that's not great. So yeah, a big game like God of War, Demon Souls, something like that, Cyberpunk, 100%, $100 is fine. Because you think too, if like you're going to the movies, I'll pay $30 for 2 people to go to the movies for 2 hours, and it's worth it. So a game that I'm gonna really enjoy, yes, but I probably would not drop $100 on Bugsnax if it was $100.
That's one great thing about
Ooh.
the PC market, is that you have a lot of nice cheaper options
Yeah.
of really fun games. Like Deep Rock Galactica that we talked about earlier is like $30-something.
Yeah.
And the thing is, replayability is a big one. So you mentioned, Sam, what were the 3 games you mentioned?
God
What
of
were next?
War,
God of War,
Cyberpunk,
Cyberpunk, and Demon Souls.
Demon Souls. Yeah.
So make no mistake, I'm probably going to end up begrudgingly buying God of War at full price. But of the 3, I would say it is the worst value, because Demon Souls and Bugsnax, was it? The worst part is you just said it and I've already forgotten what the other one
Cyberpunk.
was. There we go. They have like RPG mechanics, so if I play through the game once, I can play through it again with Cyberpunk, like a different origin, different build, different style.
Yeah.
I can play that game through a second time and enjoy it. Same with Demon Souls, you go through as like Sword and Shield, and then you make like a caster, and then you make like a dexterity build, God of War, I know the last one had like light RPG mechanics with gear. They really didn't make that much of a difference. So like God of War was the kind of game I played through, and as soon as I finished, I'm like, I'm gonna play through that again. And I did for like an hour, and I'm like, no.
Same. Me too.
So replayability is a big thing.
Yep.
And I mean, I wouldn't be me if I didn't point out that like that's why I enjoy strategy type games a lot, because every match is just using all the pieces at your disposal to deal with other pieces, and there's an inherent replayability to those.
Yeah, and exactly that point, that's kind of where like my hours comes in. Like Diablo 3 for the PlayStation, PS4, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty quick game. Like you can sit down and you can power through it in like 5 or 6 hours if you wanted to. But I played that game 7 times. And I enjoyed it every single time because I had 6 different classes. So I'm going to play all 6 different classes. And then there's a trophy for beating it on hardcore. So I picked another one and played through with the same class, but it was on hardcore. And then there was like 15 different difficulties. So that's a game where even though it's a short game, I probably put in about 200 hours into it overall. So for sure, like even a short game that's 25 hours, not 25 hours, like a short game that's 10 hours, if I play it 6 times, I got
There
more
you go.
value out of that than a 30-hour game that I'm going to play once and then never again.
Yeah. So again, $100 fucking sucks. Like, there's no two ways to cut that. I think if anything, it will limit. Now I'm almost thinking of holding off and buying a PS5. Like, I'm still gonna do it, but fuck, I don't know.
It's a lot to ask, man, especially if you want to get the new GPUs as well. That's $2,000. Boom, right there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's just Demon Souls, right? But if Demon Souls is $100 and 500, like, do I want to pay $600 to play a game that, as awesome as it looks, I've already beaten? Like, that's the other thing.
I don't think
this.
you can. I don't think you can say that.
It's going to be a different experience.
Yeah, they don't look anything alike.
No, but graphics are just graphics, man. Like,
Well, we've already established that gameplay is going to be much smoother and nicer as well.
I mean,
Anyway, I
of.
get what you're saying. It is a lot of money.
For what it's worth,
100%.
like, Demon Souls had
100%.
it wasn't animated as nicely, but it had pretty smooth gameplay. Like, never did Demon Souls not do what I wanted it to do. If I rolled and backstabbed, I rolled and backstabbed. Now it's gonna look way fucking cooler.
Never do what Demon Souls does.
Yeah. Oh, and tiny little note that I loved from the Demon Souls thing. I think I forgot to mention it. When the guy's two-handing his sword, he holds it kind of on a downward angle. Like, the sword is pointed towards the ground.
Yeah.
Which is not how it was held in Dark Souls, but was how you would hold a two-handed sword in the original Demon Souls. And it looks kind of weird. It's like right before he touches the bonfire, but he's walking around and he has his sword kind of angled down. I like that little touch. That's how it was. That's all.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. We're gonna roll 100-sided dice to see who gets the responsibility to give the final word and close the podcast. So I'm gonna get you guys to give me a number from 1 to 100.
Oh, God. 33.
33, Matt.
66.
I'm gonna go with 98. Ready? Here we go. The number is 40. So I believe Sam wins.
Hey!
So Sam, you get to give the final word, reiterate whatever you want, and close it out.
Okay. My final word. Yeah, the PlayStation rollout for pre-sales. It's not fun when you don't get one. Fix that. Make it better. And don't put them on sale while I'm driving home, because every time that there's been some available, I've been driving home and have not been able to get one. So I hope I can get one.
All's in your court, Sony.
Oh, yeah, come on, Sony. And I guess my final word. When it comes to games, if you had fun, it was a good game.